This is the Bush Whisperer coming at you from the beautiful Penguin Sanctuary, southern tip of Africa. Cape Town, Cape Agulhas, Boulders, Simonstown. The gut. This is so important. I don't even know how I've waited so long to share this one with you. The gut is so fundamental. Now, these classes or lectures are supposed to be followed from beginning to end through the series 1 and then through series 2. Each of the 108 lectures make up the composite class of the 2 phase of beginning. And there will be more that follow later. There has been video made about this. And so you will have seen this theme coming up before. Knowledge. And the way in which the mind digests information, and the way in which the body digests information. The gut. The gut is so important for the body. The gut is what breaks down the information of nutrition in order to put it into its constituents so that the body can absorb, assimilate, and coordinate the process of reconstruction of these elements in order to maintain the equilibrium of molecular rebirth and destruction. For the molecules of our bodies are dying and being reborn continually. In the same way that we are dying and being reborn continually and living through each other, the shaman understands that we live through our ancestors and our ancestors live through us. And we will become the ancestors of those that follow us, as our ancestors are those that were us. And that there is a single continuity of intelligence and emotional connection, and that the soul and the spirit are moving as a continuity between the future and the past, and that the DNA is a resonating factor, bringing the balance between the past and the future. And so the ancestors of the future and the ancestors of the past are essentially expressions of ourselves. And so they are part of the structure of the guides, part of the structure of this reality, part of the fabric of time, space, and the intelligent forces that are constructing reality. For we are all one, and we are all manifestations and expressions of a chain of being, of a chain of beings that are bound in the proverbial dance of love that produces life and thus manifests what we experience here in the physical plane and all the planes between, the planes of love, life, and existence. So our ancestors are fundamental. Now the gut is rather an important part of our instinct. When we are attuned to our gut, we are attuned to our instincts. For the gut is how we are able to digest information. It's also how we're able to digest experience, not just information. We digest the experience of life around us, and we produce wisdom. And so wisdom can be seen as an expression of the gut. For it is an expression of experience. This has also been covered in other videos. So do watch them sequentially from beginning to end throughout the series, and smash the like button and share this video. Help this channel grow, use the algorithms for the benefit of all that are enjoying this content. This information isn't coming from books. This information is coming from work that I've done my whole life. So you could think of this as my life's work. In the way that you could get a carpenter that will teach you about carpentry because of the carpentry they've done their whole lives, or a carpenter that will teach you about carpentry because of books they've read about carpentry. This is the experiential path. So you can't find this information specifically in books. I didn't. It was hard-gained, hard work. The spiritual path is in this way an expression of this hard work, and that we can find ourselves in the process of seeking true inner knowledge. The gut is one of the most powerful tools to be used in this way. For when you start to learn to attune to the energies of your gut, now I want you to consider what Taoism is all about. Taoism is about focusing your consciousness, bringing the Shen to meet the Qi, and the Qi in your gut to circulate and to store and to become empowered in your gut. And so it promotes the intelligence of the gut, which is the natural instinct. And by promoting the natural instinct, we have an instinctual law towards knowledge. It takes us like a fishhook I want you to think of a fish hook. The way a fish hook can bring forth fish from the deep waters. In this way, we can consider Aquarius for a moment, the sign of Aquarius, as it relates to the principle of the fish hook. These are inner mystical teachings that will be covered at a later stage. But consider how a fish hook is able to go under the sea and bring forth fish. Fish being the symbol of life, for one can sustain one's body with fish if one has a requirement. I personally don't, but one could if one needed to. And very often this is what one used to do in the world when one doesn't have facilities towards producing food. Many people have made a living from the sea. So we can understand that the fish hook is a symbol that implies bringing forth knowledge from the ocean, which is the subconscious. And that the gut is sort of like a in-between, a go-between, between the conscious and the subconscious, bringing the subconscious forces and intelligence into being. And so we're able to fish out the proverbial knowledge from the gut. And so Aquarius can be understood and in such a manner as a go-between, if you would. It's a particular aspect of Saturn. Saturn in its more feminine form, if you want to consider the polarity of Saturn. And so the polarity of Saturn needs to be understood in order for this to become a manifest reality within ourselves. And that Saturn can also be empathetic. And when Saturn is empathetic, the knowledge of the gut gets revealed. And you then can follow your gut instinct and your gut impulse. And your gut never ever lies. Have you ever had a gut instinct where your gut told you you mustn't go somewhere and you didn't go there and then you heard something bad had happened? Your gut instinct says when you're leaving the house to take a jacket, even though it's beautiful sunny blue skies, but you take one anyway, and then it turns out that there's a sudden rainstorm just coming out of the blue. Your gut warned you. Your gut told you what you needed to do. Your gut can become a very powerful guiding force through life. It can help us to bring the essential instincts into alignment with the consciousness field so that wisdom can become a guiding facilitator for the experience of life. And then we learn to trust our guts. Our guts can tell us about people. Your gut will tell you if somebody's out of tune, if somebody's out of whack, if there is a positive force, a positive stream of being between you and another human being. Your gut will tell you. And your gut can also tell you about other things, what you should be eating in order to stay healthy. And your gut will teach you how to learn. Certain pieces of information that you hear, your gut will say, no, this doesn't settle. And so it becomes very important to learn to attune to the energy and the vibrational field of the gut, so that the intelligence of the gut can become a very fundamental teacher. There's something powerful about the gut. The shaman appreciates this, understands this very deeply, and so the dance of the shaman is very much about engaging with this instinctive intelligence of the gut. And the guides become a doorway back towards the intelligence of the gut. And so shaman are able to very often speak to the guides through the gut. This might sound very interesting, but this is a fundamental aspect of the reality of shamanism. The gut is so much a fundamental part of your physical health. All parts of the body are fundamental. All parts of the structure of the dance of coordination and cooperation between the various beings, which are our organs, which reflect as various forms of tissue, are all a part of the structure of being and all fundamentally important. So the gut is really where the brass tacks happen, where all the work is done. And it's also where your immune system resides. I want you to consider that very closely. Much of what we consider the immune system has got to do with these particularly probiotic, healthy microbes that live in the gut. And they are a big part of what keeps us protected physically, protecting you from harmful foods, protecting you from invading elements of life, from anaerobic creatures that would enter into the body and cause disharmony. The gut is a soldier system. It's like a little military that we have in our bodies. And when we are out of tune, the gut will send the proverbial military to face the threats in our bodies. There's also an aspect of psychic protection that relates to the gut. I want you to consider this closely and carefully. If you start to attune your gut and balance the energies of your gut, you will be psychically protected. You'll be energetically protected, and you'll be physically protected. And in martial arts, let's just tie this off, shall we? In martial arts, the gut is so important because it is the receptacle of chi, or ki. And so we are able to direct the ki or the chi through the gut, from the gut, in order to produce the flow of energy that can produce changes in the physical sphere. Able to channel these frequencies and these energies in such a way that they can become useful on the physical plane. So when you learn to use your gut, you learn to become strong on your feet. When you learn to breathe through your gut, you learn to channel more of this vital force and energy into your body. The gut is also how you will learn to protect yourself in martial arts. The hara, or the tantin, is the fundamental structure around which all the techniques are essentially created. And it's the pivot around which all the forces move. So to understand how this works is quite fundamental to understanding how to protect yourself physically in a fight. It's also fundamental to learn to understand how your immune system protects your physical body. Emotionally, we are protected by our gut. If someone is talking to us in a manipulative way, trying to get you into an emotional train of thought that's disharmonious or destructive, your gut will say there's something wrong about the way this person's behaving towards me. And if you learn to follow your instincts and your impulses of the gut, you won't be taken down those emotional journeys that are unhealthy. And the same for thoughts. If you're hearing information that doesn't tally and you're questioning the validity and the truth of it, your gut will be a very powerful way for you to recognize the resonance of information. Does it resonate with me or not? Your gut is the key. So recognize that the belly button has been contemplated by yogis. Let's bring it back to the Vedas for a moment. For centuries, many, many centuries. And many gurus have said, contemplate your belly button. What do they mean by this? Everybody's looking to get engaged with the higher chakras. Everybody's looking to open the crown chakra and the Shanana chakra, which is the Ajna chakra, the third eye. Everybody wants to open the Visuddhi chakra to develop the psychic abilities and the psychic powers. The gut, though, is the key. When the gut has been well developed, then the substrate of forces will be greater, the potentials will be greater, the instincts will be better, and the mind will work more naturally. It will flow more like a river. And we will be able to flow our thoughts with our vital forces and be able to bring a state of harmony. Do subscribe to this channel. There are daily videos coming. Enjoy the daily classes. Follow them from beginning to ending, season by season, to get the best from them. Have an absolutely gorgeous day and go and focus on your gut. Listen to your gut. Build a relationship with your gut and recognize that a gut is like a being with other beings in your body that is giving a harmony to this expression of being. And that if you want to find the harmony within yourself, the gut is a great way towards learning from the self, about the self that is manifesting the world around you. Have an absolutely gorgeous day. Enjoy yourself and feel the gut. Om Shanti.